For all of your sports in Lorain, keep your TV tuned to TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
Jack Civic batting 6th, shortstop Avery Blankenship. Batting 7th is the pitcher, freshman Brock Miller. Batting 8th at first base is Sean Satterley, and batting 9th, the designated hitter Dylan Belknap. They'll be going up against J.D. Van Sickle, the junior pitcher for the Lorain Titans, and that abbreviated pregame show was brought to you by your Grange Independent agent, Cobos Insurance Center, and today's starting lineups were courtesy of our friends at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford. They're at the corner of Route 57 and East Broad Street. Van Sickle's first pitch of game 2, and Doug Long says ball 1, and we're underway. Titans win the first game 7-3. They go to 4-5 on the record. Keystone losing drops to 7-7. Into the wind, the 1-0 offering is a fastball inside, 2-0. The Titans are in their white jerseys. They've got gray pants, blue numerals, blue caps. The Keystone Wildcats, they've got the purple jerseys, black pants. Their numerals are in white. Righty-righty matchup to 2-0. Down the middle, called strike, 2-1. Casey Wolf listening in. He's right on top of everything, as he always is. Good to hear from our friend Case. Yep, Case, I've realized that as well. The 2-1. That's a little high, 3-1.
He's in charge of a lot of initiatives that we take here at WEOL in terms of what time and series of events are going to unfold. So we thank Casey for that.
I used to ask you and Rocco what to do. Now I just say, hey, Case, what should we be doing? That's ripped to left field. That's going to be a base hit, and it gets past the left fielder, Jessiel Hidalgo, and turning in and getting into second base with a double to lead off game 2 is Justin Bowen. So Bowen with a double. That was a bad hop, Jared, that got past to Jessiel Hidalgo, and into second is Bowen with a .211 batting average.
And if you're Keystone, again, game 1 that we did not have here was a good one through 6 innings, and then through 5 innings, kind of got away from the Wildcats in that 6. But they didn't keep a sour taste in their mouth. They were able to get up here and make something happen here early.
Doug Long, the home plate umpire. Todd Strebel with the bases. Rocky Houston squares to bunt, and he takes a called strike, 0-1. Actually, he offered at it, missed it, so it's no balls and a strike. Houston, a left-handed batter, batting .353 with a couple of RBIs, senior right fielder. Open stance. Van Sickle looks back to second. He'll come plateward. That one's ripped down the first base line for a solid base hit. Around third is Bowen. Here comes the throw from Mason Davis, and it's not in time. It's 1-0 Keystone as they get a run immediately here in the top of the first. So an RBI single for Houston, his 3rd ribby of the year, and Keystone leads 1-0. That'll bring up the heart of the lineup here, batting 3rd and 4th. It's Nathan Archer batting 3rd, senior center fielder, .488, 3 homers, 12 RBIs. Behind him, Nathan Prunny, a senior catcher, .364 with 3 homers and 15 ribbies. The lefty takes a look at one inside, 1-0. We're literally getting the stats just as we're getting ready to go on, so bear with us a little bit. Takes a little time to get settled in. Van Sickle looks to first. Houston with a short lead, the 1-0. There's a called strike, 1-1. Doug Long barks out the signal. Van Sickle has thrown just 2 1/3 innings this year in 2 appearances. That one's fouled off. A ball and 2 strikes.
You think that, Rob, maybe the second game of a doubleheader, especially one that you came out on top of in the first, is a good way to throw a guy that really hasn't had a lot of experience, going so far. You've already got one you'd like to get to, but pressure is not quite as bad when you come away with a big win in game number 1.
You're playing with house money, is I think what you're alluding to there.
I know I was allowed to say that.
I would agree with that. So Van Sickle, 2 1/3 innings pitched. This is his 3rd appearance. He's given up 2 hits, a run, 3 walks, 4 strikeouts on the year. And that one's foul tipped. It remains a ball and 2 strikes.
As our good friend Tom Evans, who is dialed in, knows, gambling is illegal at the pipe yard, and these gentlemen never hit one in foul territory.
I never slice. Van Sickle looks in, comes set, and the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, the first out of the top of the first. Archer is down on strikes. Big strikeout for Van Sickle, leaves Houston at first. Keystone with a 1-0 lead. Hope you enjoyed the first game. Rocco Nushi, and earlier with him was Jared Kozar before he came up here. They had for you Elyria defeating Midview by a score of 8-5. We decided to try to pull off a 4-team doubleheader from 2 different game sites, and I think it went about as well as we could have hoped for, Jared, with the timing of that one.
Just the way we drew it up.
The first pitch to Prunty is a called strike, 0-1. Prunty, senior catcher, batting .364 with 3 homers and 15 RBIs. I'll get to the Lorain defense momentarily. Again, they won game 1 7-3. It was 3-3 late. They had 4 in the bottom of the 6th. Prunty fouls that one off him, and he is going to be hurting.
Yeah, that one never feels good, let alone in the cooler weather. It will warm up a little bit today, but right now still feels pretty raw out there.
Playing first is Rocky Rivera. At second is Tyler Costco. Over at short, Nathan Antis. The third, Jacob Addis. In left is Jeziel Hidalgo. In center, Carlos Gonzalez. In right field, Mason Davis. Behind the dish, Jose Rivera. And on the mound today for the Titans, J.D. Van Sickle. For Brad Turnus, already in his 18th year as head coach at Lorain. Of course, he was the head coach of Southview before that. His dad, longtime coach Dan Turnus, still helping out with the program, doing the scorekeeping. But 18 years for Brad. And Bert Fitzgerald in his 9th season as the head coach of the Wildcats. And both those numbers tell me that I'm getting older, because I remember when Bert was an assistant, of course, for Coach Clement. And boy, the great program he had at Keystone before Bert took over. To think that he's now been there 9 years. And I remember Dan Turnus as the head coach of Southview, and now Brad's 18 years here. That one's lifted into short center field. Coming on and making the put out in center field is Gonzalez, and Houston came off the base, was running, never looked up, and they're easily going to double him up to end the first inning. So that's going to be a double play to end the inning. Prunty flies out. It goes 8-6-3. So Houston never looked up, and he was doubled up easily. So a run, 2 base hits, no errors, and with a base running mistake, nobody left. After half an inning, it's Keystone 1, Lorain coming to bat. You're listening to the WEOL Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel. This afternoon's game is on AM 930, FM 100.3. Jared Kozar, we're online.
At WEOL.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Kobos, and I lived in Lorain County my
Levels
entire
okay?
life.
Yeah, you want to do 2 here?
You know what? Let's get starting lineups and stuff in. Let's just do 1.
Okay.
That's why I'm proud to represent.
We'll make up
Range
for it
Insurance.
later. I'm just trying to
Range
get
offers
settled in here.
personalized coverage.
Everything's all right?
Yeah, levels are good.
Anything we need to know?
No, I mean, besides Dave's going to be taking over in a half hour, but that's about it.
Nice job. Thanks for all your help today. And I know it's a little confusing in between games, but sometimes if you just let it play out, it works.
Right,
Yeah,
so.
a lot of moving parts today. They're normally not this rough.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Michael Wenshow back at Studio Control. Great job. We've got Dave Rydell coming up after him. And for Michael Wenshow, like you said, Jared, and the break, a lot of moving parts. He had game 1 with Rocco Nushi. And welcome, Rocco, to Spring Sports at WEOL. Last year, he was with us. And, of course, we didn't have spring sports due to the pandemic. And Rocco gets his first taste of baseball today. And Jared, as you mentioned earlier, I heard you guys for a little bit. The first this weekend of 12 games between baseball and softball that we'll have in the regular season. Of course, we'll have all the tournament games, all the coverage. And spring sports is not easy to do, but when you see good games, it is really fun to do.
The reward of spring sports is certainly worthwhile, and they really appreciate the coverage due to the athletes and the coaches that we deal with. They make it easy, really, when you think about sometimes the scurrying around and you said the moving parts, that you have to go through for spring sports. But, that kind of all dissipates once you get out of that regular season and into the middle of May. You can start depending on a little bit of warmer weather and just it just sort of naturally feels pretty good to be out there.
Yeah, agree with you on that. And again, now it's time for the Nick Abraham starting lineups for the Lorain Titans. Batting first in center field, Carlos Gonzalez. Batting second, catching Jose Rivera. Batting third at second base is Tyler Costco. Batting fourth, shortstop Nathan Antis. Batting fifth is the third baseman Jacob Addis. Batting sixth, left fielder Jeziel Hidalgo. Batting seventh at first base is Rocky Rivera. Eighth in right field is Mason Davis. And batting ninth is the pitcher J.D. Van Sickle. It'll be Brock Miller on the mound for the Keystone Wildcats, the freshman, with a record of 1-0. He has given up 10 runs, 7 of them are earned, 7 hits, 13 walks, and 17 strikeouts. The righty, the ninth grader, into the wind, and his first pitch in the bottom of the first is swung on and fouled out of play behind the first base dugout. Keystone in the first base dugout, Lorain in the home third base dugout. No balls and a strike to Carlos Gonzalez, batting 182 on the year. Gonzalez in center field. That's inside, and it hit him. I think it was a curveball that didn't. So hit by pitch, and the leadoff runner is on the home half of the first.
Yeah, I think he knew it right away when it left his arm that was going to be one that wasn't going to work quite the way he had planned.
That'll bring up senior catcher Jose Rivera with a healthy batting average of .545. Lorain now with a record of 4-5 after winning game 1 today, 7-3. He squares the bunt, takes it low and outside, ball 1. Also today's game on WLCS TV 20, Joe Bach, Bob Schlumbaker, Terry Trout, the whole gang's here. Glad they're using our audio on WLCS TV 20. There's a called strike. He'll even account a ball and a strike. Boy, you know Joe Bach is a big deal. When, did you see Brian Corey's car inside here at the pipe yard? Did you see, the Turnises with their vehicle? I did not. You know whose vehicle is right outside here? Right out. That would be one Joe Bach.
I saw Joe Bach with the preferred parking, and I thought to myself,
he's the only one with that.
He set up shop here. Yeah, you're right. There's one vehicle in here, not even another trailer or anything like that. It's just Joe. So
1 ball, 2 strikes. And it was really impressive to see the sign that says reserved for Joe Bach. Everybody else will be towed.
I thought the most impressive thing was while you were doing your lineups, Joe Bach galloping right up these stairs to get to his video central over here. I mean, he's still got a lot of giddy up.
The pitch. Curveball must be a little high and inside. We're live from the pipe yard on a Saturday afternoon and looking on the first base dugout before the game. I had a couple minutes and saw that this was dedicated back in April 2007, so already 14 years that this facility has been in use. That one's sent to right field. Coming on in is Rocky Houston. He'll make the put out, throw to first base, and is it going to be a double play? Yes, it is. Not getting back in time was Gonzalez, so we have another outfield-infield double play punch out. That one will go 8-3. Nice arm for Rocky Houston. Gonzalez was hustling to try to get back, but could not.
A little bit of retribution for Rocky Houston as he was on the other side of that one in the first inning in the top half.
That's exactly right. That'll bring up junior Nathan Antis, the shortstop, batting .429, but now nobody on and 2 outs. Home half of the first, Keystone leads at 1-0. Righty-righty matchup. The pitch. Low and outside, 2-0. Not using the scoreboard here today, so we'll do our best to keep track, but bear with us. The wind, the pitch, and that bounces in, so I believe it's 3-0. Home half of the first, 1-0 Keystone. Lorain won game 1, 7-3. Indians baseball when we're done. 3:35 pregame, 4:10 first pitch. 3-0 right down the middle, 3-1. Indians will try to even up the series in the Queen City. Tristan McKenzie on the mound for the good guys. The wind, the pitch. Strike 2. Heading to first was Tyler Costco, but not so fast as Doug Long. So Costco back in, waves the bat, the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, that'll do it. So for the Lorain Titans, there were no runs and no hits, no errors. A hit Batman, but because of the double play, nobody left. We played an inning. It's Keystone 1, Lorain nothing on the Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL, on AM, on FM, Jared online.
At WEOL.com.
Winter storms can do a number.
2 here, everything all right?
Hi,
Yep,
Thank you, sir.
no problem.
I think we're finally getting settled in here.
problem trees before they cause damage. And after storms, they offer 24-hour emergency service. EcoTree is owned by second-generation family arborists, and they use the newest, most efficient equipment in the industry.
Do we need to make good any spots from that first game?
No, we replayed some. So,
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can always give extra.
Life Care Center of Westlake, Medina,
It's
and
never a
Elyria
bad thing.
honor Joe Tate, who brought energy to our hearts and homes with each game as he signs off one last time. Joe was a beloved colleague and friend. His legacy will be remembered, and he will be dearly missed as part of the Life Care family.
This is Joe Tate. Have a good night, everybody.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
And it's time now for today's keys to the game. They're presented by Life Care Centers of Elyria, Medina, and Westlake. And my key to the game, I'll speak for Lorain. They won Game 1 by a score of 7-3. And with their young man out there, J.D. Van Sickle, that's only thrown 2 innings coming into this one, I think if they could get him some early run support, even though they didn't in the first inning, but if they could do that, it would take some pressure off the young man. And if he can have some early innings with some success, I think that would really help him out. That's my Lorain keys to this afternoon's game. Jared will give his thoughts on Keystone for their keys to the game when he gets a minute. Van Sickle's a pitch to Jack Civic. And that's high and outside, 2-0. Civic, a third baseman, a senior, batting .200 with 4 RBIs on the campaign.
And Rob, for my Keystone key to the game, I'm going to say they got to jump on Van Sickle as soon as they can. Do the Wildcats get Game 1 out of their mouth and go ahead and make sure they take care of business here in Game 2.
And that one's sent out to left field. It'll be a base hit. So Civic with a single to left, and for the second consecutive inning, the Wildcats have their leadoff runner on board, and that's always a good sign for an offense if they can get their leadoff batter on, and Keystone is 2 for 2 by doing that. So that will bring up Avery Blankenship, the senior shortstop, batting .282 with 8 RBIs. Getting a short lead off first is Civic. The pitch, looking to bunt, taking it outside, 1-0. In at third is Jacob Addis. He's at the edge of the grass. Holding the runner at first base is senior Rocky Rivera. Middle infielders are playing up the middle for a double play. But again, Addis is in at the cut of the grass. Here at the Pipe Yard, one of the finer facilities in Lorain County. That's bunted foul, 1-1. Addis was chugging in from third. He was a member of the basketball team that went to the district championship. Of course, they'll have a new coach next year in varsity boys basketball. John Rossitano retiring. That's high and outside, and I shouldn't say retiring, just stepping down after he retired from teaching. And, of course, this week was named the girls basketball coach at Amherst. So that didn't take long. Van Sickle comes set, the pitch. Blankenship will bunt down the first base line, and that is going to go foul. Well, a nice job that time by Van Sickle. The pitcher, he knew as far as that one was rolling that the only play he had was to hope it would go foul because it was a good bunt by Blankenship. He would have been safe, Jared. And Van Sickle did the smart thing, and he let it go foul just before it got to the first base bag. Yeah,
a lot of awareness out of both players on that one. That's something about John Rossitano, Rob. Tells me he finds something good, he sticks with it in terms of 2 head coaching stints at those schools. He comes back, so he's like a boomerang of sorts.
Well, his agent, Lacey Reichert, probably got him that job, the softball coach. She's John's, or I should say maybe John is her agent. I'm not sure, but 3-2. With Blankenship bunt with 2 strikes. He takes it inside, ball 4. So he couldn't get the bunt down, but is able to walk to first. And that means the first 2 runners are on, nobody out. That'll bring up the freshman pitcher, Brock Miller, batting .500 with 3 RBIs.
Have you ever seen John coach first base in softball?
Coach first or stand at first?
Well, take your pick. But the point is that Lacey Reichert is squarely in charge in that relationship.
There's no doubt about it. That one is bunted to Van Sickle. He'll throw to first in time for the out. Runners move up to second and third. So Miller with the successful sacrifice bunt. And the out goes 1-3. Boy, Van Sickle quickly threw that to first, Jared. I thought he had time to possibly look to second or third, but he took the safe play and the sure out. That'll bring up Sean Satterley, a senior first baseman, batting .115 with 8 RBIs. Runners in second and third and 1 out. A chance to add to a 1-0 lead. That's fisted foul, 0-1. This afternoon's Diamond Duel brought to you by the Center for Orthopedics. Your personal connection to advanced care. Call 440-329-2800 for an appointment at one of their 5 convenient locations. And thanks again for the Center for Orthopedics for being our presenting sponsor of high school baseball and softball, spring sports, as they did with football and also with basketball and boys and girls basketball. Our presenting sponsor all scholastic season, thanks to the folks at Center for Orthopedics. Runners at second and third. The 0-1. That one's going to be sent down to third. Addis comes up with it. He'll throw to first in time. Scoring on the play. An RBI ground out is going to be Jack Civic. 2-0 Keystone. Staying at second is Blankenship. So Satterley is out 5-3 with the RBI ground out. Civic scores. And that'll bring up senior designated hitter Dylan Belknap, batting .211. 2 RBIs for the right-hand batter. He has an open stance, batting 9th in the lineup. The senior, the pitch from Van Sickle. Called strike right at the top of the strike zone, 0-1. Blankenship at second, 2 outs, top of the second. Wildcats with a run in each of the first 2 innings, lead at 2-0. Rob Polinsky, Jared Kozar, live from the Pipe Yard in Lorain. Michael Wenshow back at studio control in downtown Elyria, 1-1. Hope you enjoyed Game 1 as with the Colorado Nushi. And it was Elyria getting their second win of the season, defeating Midview in a good ball game by a score of 8-5. And getting underway our 2021 high school spring sports coverage. Brought a couple of forecast magazines here today, Jared, for the fans. Of course, you can get that at some area businesses. Our spring forecast magazine is out. Rocco Nushi in charge of putting that together did a really nice job with it. Hope you get a chance to look at it. That one's going to be sent down the third baseline, foul. Wait for Doug Long to tell me the balls and strikes because the scoreboard is not in use here at the Pipe Yard today.
You get a chance to look at that forecast magazine. It's got great stories about our local teams and kind of the year that wasn't and where they have to go there from there. There's some schedules in there. Great Indian schedule in terms of if you want to hang that one on the fridge. So forecast magazine has you covered.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Van Sickle comes set. Looks back to second. And a 2-2. Bounces in 3-2, and that one is going to get away. And getting into third base on the wild pitch is going to be Blankenship. Good try by Jose Rivera, but he couldn't quite come up with it cleanly. And that will get Blankenship down to third with 2 outs.
There's been a couple of those instances so far where that pitch has just kind of grinded its way in to home plate, and it's been tough for Rivera to have to chase down.
So Van Sickle peers in. Dylan Belknap, the designated hitter, awaits the 3-2. That one's sent down to Addis. Got it on a tough one hop. He'll fire to first in time. Well, that was a pretty nice play by Jacob Addis down at third. And Belknap grounds out hard to third to end the inning. For the Wildcats, they get a run. They did it on a 1-base hit. There were no errors and 1 left. After an inning and a half, Game 2 of our doubleheader, it's Keystone 2, Lorain nothing. You're listening to the WEOL Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel. We're on AM 930, FM 100.3. Maybe you've been listening online today, Jared.
Yeah, WEOL.com.
Get big savings at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford.
Everything
Every
okay?
remaining
Anything I need to know?
EcoSport in stock is $8,000.
Change of board operator.
Oh, hey, Dave. How we doing, boss?
We're here.
It also has the new Bronco Sport in stock. And be sure to check out the high-performance...
Thanks for coming in. You're also running the Indians?
There's all
Yep.
$4 million.
We'll do a better
used
job
car
of the Indians
inventory
today
to
than
choose from.
they did last
So be
night,
sure
would
to
you?
visit Nick Abraham Elyria.
Started out good yesterday.
Elyria.
The key to all-season comfort in your home begins when you
Two
call
spots,
Raymond
and we
Plumbing,
shall
Heating,
take
and
it
Air
if you don't
Conditioning.
mind.
Since
Got it.
Raymond's trained
Everything
personnel
sounds
have
all
been
right? We're doing
providing
okay?
trouble-free
Jared's mic is a little low.
Jared's
right
a little
now,
low.
their 17-point cooling
Yep,
maintenance
how about
is
now?
just
Better?
$89
A little bit more, please.
soon and stay cool and comfortable
Okay.
right through the summer. Raymond Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your key to all-season comfort.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Bottom of the second inning. Of course, the audio of this one is on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. And we hope you can like Lorain City Schools TV 20 on Facebook. Check out Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook for all your entertainment and informational needs. You can follow us on Twitter at LCS_TV 20. Check out that YouTube station, YouTube TV 20. I know an awful lot of people do that, Jared.
They sure do, especially Joe and I had talked towards the close of basketball season. He's got all the graduations on there for quite a number of years now, too. So people go back and watch that, especially when you think gatherings are starting to happen again. People are getting together. Easter just happened. Somebody might have wanted to say, hey, throw up that 1999 graduation.
You probably do that just to prove to mom and dad you did graduate.
It did happen.
That's low and outside, 1-1. Nathan Antis, Jacob Addis, Jesiel Hidalgo, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters for Coach Turnus and the Lorain Titans, who trail 2-0 in the bottom of the second. Brock Miller's pitch is outside. Again, later on today, Indians baseball on WEOL. The Indians and the Reds. First pitch at 4:10, pregame 3:35. That should be about right when this one's over. That one gets away, and it'll be ball 4 as Antis heads down the first.
Got a scoring update. End of 1. Avon Lake playing baseball today, and it is 1-0 Avon at the end of the first inning.
Found out last night that our buddy Matt St. Marie is one of the umpires of that one. He was prepping for his game as I was last night, ran into him. Jacob Addis, junior third baseman, comes in batting .318. Called strike, 0-1.
You guys are both pretty much at the top of your craft, I would think, in terms of prepping is concerned.
We were at it for a while getting ready, I'll tell you that. Addis waves the bat. The righty-righty matchup. The pitch from Miller. That's low, 2-1. Wildcats lost the first game 7-3. And that ended what was a nice winning streak for Keystone in a good week. They had won 3 games this week to get to 7-6. Now the record is 7-7. That'll bounce in. It's 3-1. They defeated Oberlin 17-1, Black River 5-1, and Clearview 13-3 this week before Lorain stopped that momentum by winning game 1 7-3. Addis waves that bat, and the pitch. That's a ball. 3-1, I believe. For Lorain, they are now 4-5. They had lost twice this week to Shaker Heights on consecutive days, Tuesday and Wednesday, 12-5 on Tuesday and 8-4 on Wednesday. The pitch. That one's sent right up the middle, and it's going to be a base hit. Hitting second base and staying there will be Antis, and the first 2 Titans are on in the bottom of the first. That'll bring up Jesiel Hidalgo.
I think it's always pretty good when a guy that made a really good play to get out of the previous inning comes up and fires a laser right back up the middle. You can feel good about that after seeing that defensive effort rewarded there. Now you're on base and, a chance to get back into this ball game.
Tying runs aboard. Brock Miller, the freshman, with a pitch. That one's low and outside. He's having a hard time finding his target here in the bottom of the second. Lorain has defeated Bedford twice this season. They split a doubleheader with Brookside, losing to Firelands, losing to Amherst, and they lost twice to Shaker Heights. That's on the corner, 2-0. We're scheduled to have the Titans again later this season as they will host Warrensville Heights. That game tentatively for May 5th. The pitch. Squaring the bunt, but looking at it, it's a called strike. Keystone, we don't have them scheduled again in the regular season, but I would think there's a good chance we'll pick them up in the tournament. The pitch, that one's going to be bunted right back to Miller. He turns, throws to second. It's a wild throw off the glove of Blankenship. Coming around third and coming in to score is going to be Antis. Addis will slide into third. They don't get anybody as Miller was a little wide with that throw. Blankenship trying to stay on the bag. Might have been better served, Jared, just to make sure he made the catch and not worry about trying to hang on to the bag. But that E1 allows a run to score, and it's 2-1.
We could kind of see that develop differently from where we're at in the press box. That it was drifting right the entire time that throw. It was almost there, but again, as you mentioned, would have been better suited to just try to make the grab.
So you give him the sacrifice on the bunt. That way it doesn't cost him a plate appearance for Hidalgo. The error was on the throw. And now Titans with runners on the corners down 2-1, and Rocky Rivera, senior first baseman, batting 150, sends that one down the first base line in foul territory, and it bounces just in front of Sean Satterley. Addis at third, Hidalgo at first, a run in, and the Wildcats lead now 2-1 in the bottom of the second.
I think they're telling us right now that they had the wrong batter. They batted out of order.
Wow, so that was Mason Davis who was up, and it's supposed to be Rocky Rivera, so that would be an out, would it not?
Apparently they're going to let that one slide.
I don't know how that works.
Right, I thought that was not.
I thought if you batted out of order,
yeah,
you were out. Winner rules. Yeah, I think they're just, going to let him bat with the 1-1 count. The pitch, there's a called strike. I can honestly say I think it's the first time I've ever seen that. Rocky Rivera is up now, senior first baseman, batting 150. Ball and 2 strikes. The pitch. Ball 2, throw down to second, and applying the tag, Hidalgo's out, and Addis didn't try to score, so they throw him out at second base. The caught stealing goes 2-6, and there's one out here in the bottom of the second. Rivera with the open stance now awaits the 2-2. That's outside, 3-2. So now you've got Addis at third, one out in the bottom of the second. Wildcats lead 2-1. Rob Polinsky, Jared Kozart, live from the Pipe Yard on WEOL and with our friends at WLCS TV 20 in Lorain. The pitch, that one sent sky high, foul territory. Coming back, racing towards the screen and running out of real estate was the catcher, Nathan Prunty. Nice effort by Prunty. There's a lot of foul territory here at the Pipe Yard, but that one still got over the head and over the screen, I should say, and into the stands here. The interesting thing would have been if Prunty makes that catch with all the space, would Addis have tried to tag up? The pitch. That one's outside, ball 4. So Rivera takes a walk, and now Mason Davis will come up. And the oddity is he saw 2 pitches before they sent him back to the dugout and said, wait your turn, son.
It can only be described as a very interesting, maybe even puzzling sequence of events that's transpired. Okay, that was apparently not ball 4.
Oh, I thought he sent him to first. My bad. All right, I was premature. Now that is ball 4.
But between the batting out of order and the we're going to allow this, and then the attempted steal of second, it was just a weird Bermuda Triangle-esque type series of events for Lorain there.
Runners on the corners with 1 out. Lorain has a run in. They trail 2-1, and now Mason Davis does come up. Swing and a miss. Big cut on the first pitch, 0-1. Davis, a junior right fielder, batting $125. Number 8 in the order, a 125 average. Is Coach Turnus going to try to put some kind of running game on here? There's a called strike 0-2. Addis at third, Rivera at first. One out in the bottom of the second. Wildcats leading 2-1 in this non-conference game 2 of a doubleheader. It's inside, 2-2. Talking to Bert Fitzgerald, he said they always like to play Lorain, if possible, in the non-conference, and they love coming up here to the Pipe Yard. And who wouldn't? It is a great facility. There's a called strike on the corner. Boy, a nice pitch there from Brock Miller. He gets his second strikeout of the afternoon, and that's a big one because the runners have to stay put. That'll bring up J.D. Van Sickle, the junior pitcher, batting .222. Ninth batter in the Lorain lineup. High and outside, ball one. Prunty came up like he was going to throw to first, but just faked it and didn't do it. Stay tuned after the ball game. We'll have the EcoTree Services post-game show before we get you set for Indians baseball. That one's just outside. Ball two. On deck, back to the top of the order, senior center fielder Carlos Gonzalez. He was hit by a pitch to open up things in the bottom of the first. That one sent sky high in the infield. Miller, the pitcher, now will come off the mound as the third baseman comes over, calls him out, Jack Civic. Civic makes the put out, and the Titans are out in the bottom of the second. So they get a run, although it looked like it could be more promising than that. They get one run. They did it on one base hit. There was one error and two left. We've played 2 complete innings. Our score, Keystone 2, Lorain 1. You're listening to the Center for Orthopedics WEOL Diamond Duel. This afternoon's game on AM 930, FM 100.3. You can download that mobile app and listen anytime, Jared.
At WEOL.com.
Enjoy Smitty's in Elyria.
2 here, boss.
Monday through Saturday starting at 11 for lunch and dinner. Dine in or carry out. For all your Smitty's favorites, visit Smitty's across from the Elyria Post Office. A family tradition since 1934. Stop in after the game.
Speaking for the Center for Orthopedics, here's Dr. Robert Berkowitz.
The nerves in the spine run through a bony canal. Sometimes the diameter of this canal can shrink. This is called stenosis. Symptoms that are the result of spinal stenosis include neck pain, back pain, numbness and weakness of the arms and legs. Treatment for the acute flare-up of spinal stenosis consists of physical therapy, chiropractic, and anti-inflammatory medications. Surgery may be necessary and can often be performed in a minimally invasive fashion with patients going home the same day.
For an appointment, call the Center for Orthopedics at 440-329-2800.
WEOL, Elyria, Lorain, Medina.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Swaying in the summer breeze, showing off their silver leaves as we walked by. Soft kisses on.
Nice little sound right there, Jared. I didn't want to step all over that, so.
Why would you? And Mike Wenshow usually does a pretty good job of
he knows what he's doing
handling
back there.
the bump music when you're working a game. I'll tell you that.
And we have to give credit also to Dave Rydell because he's taken over, and that was very Michael Wenshow-like with that tune that he played. Top of the third for the Keystone Wildcats, leading 2-1. We will have the top of the order, and batting is Justin Bowen. Takes a look at one high and inside 1-0. Bowen led off the ball game with a double, and he scored the first Keystone run. 2-1 Wildcats after 2. J.D. Van Sickle on the mound, and his 1-0. The one outside, 2-0. Let's reset the Lorain defense if you're just joining us. Infield first to third, Rocky Rivera at first, Tyler Costco at second, Nathan Antis at short, Jacob Addis at third. The second baseman, shortstop, and the third baseman are all juniors. Rivera at first is a senior. Van Sickle into the wind and a 2-0. High and outside, 3-0. The outfield, left fielder Jesse L. Hidalgo, a senior. Carlos Gonzalez, likewise a senior in center. And junior Mason Davis out in right. Senior Jose Rivera behind the plate, and junior J.D. Van Sickle on the mound. There's a called strike, 2-1. Van Sickle coming into this one, it's his third appearance of the year on the mound. Total coming in, he had 2 1/3 innings pitched. Well, once he gets the first Wildcat out of the third inning, he'll match that season total here. And that one's going to be sent to short on one hop. Antis comes up with it, throws to first in time for the out. So for the first time today in this game, the Wildcats don't get their leadoff runner aboard. And Van Sickle now has gone 2 1/3 innings, and as I just mentioned, that equals his total on the season. Stepping in now, Rocky Houston. He had an RBI single back in the first, his 3rd RBI of the year, open stance for the lefty. Came into the doubleheader batting .333. The pitch is outside ball 1. Thanks to both coaches, Bert Fitzgerald and also to Brad Turnus. They took the time to send me stats, get us all the information that we need. That's very helpful. Much appreciated. Van Sickle with the pitch. Outside ball 2. Both of them are using new ways to do their stats this year. And it was interesting when Coach Fitzgerald sent me his. I said, Coach, I can't use 34 pages of stats. The 2-0. That one's going to be sent into short right field. Racing back is the second baseman. Unable to come up with the play is Costco. Great effort, a diving effort, but it falls for a single. Getting it back in is Mason Davis. Now he's going to check on Costco, make sure he's all right. That was a heck of an effort by Tyler Costco. He dove for it, couldn't come up with it. Houston's 2 for 2. But my point being that Bert Fitzgerald said, let me take a look at this. I'll do what I can. And he sent me something that was much more manageable, and I appreciate that.
A lot of people have to conform to you when it comes down to this technological awareness.
Jared, I'll show you those 34 pages of stats, and you tell me what you would have done. 1 on, 1 out, the top of the 3rd. Archer will send it to deep right center field. Gonzalez, though, is under it, and in front of the warning track comes out with the catch. So Archer got a lot of it, but not enough of it, and it's a deep fly out. 2 out, and getting back to first is Rocky Houston. Houston was doubled up on a fly out in the first inning, but not there. Now Nathan Prunty comes up. Prunty batting 4th. And for Prunty, he's the one who hit into that double play that went 8-6-3 to end the first inning. And Van Sickle has settled down since. That's low and outside ball 1. Doug Long behind the plate. You may have heard his name before. Todd Strebel is the base umpire. Van Sickle looks to first. Comes set, the pitch. Inside corner called strike. What I do like about Doug Long right there, boy, he barks out that call. You know right away that it's a strike. Major league umpires could take some advice right there. No doubt about it on his ball or strike call. Swing and a miss, strike 2, but it gets away from the catcher, Jose Rivera, and getting down to second base on that one is Rocky Houston. On the pass ball. Getting into scoring position is going to be Houston. Keystone with a run in each of the first 2 innings leads it 2-1 here in the top of the 3rd. Van Sickle trying to get through an inning without giving up a run for the first time today. He looks back to second. Looks again, but now he'll come to the plate, and that one's going to be sent to short. Coming up with it is Antis. The long throw to first in, plenty of time, and the Wildcats are out. Top of the 3rd and no runs. So there was a 1-base hit. No errors and 1 left. We've played 2.5. Keystone 2, Lorain 1. We'll be back after this on the Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on AM 930, FM 100.3, and online anytime.
At WEOL.com.
Hi, this is Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavaliers, talking about EcoTree services and complete tree care. I had EcoTree services.
Did we do an ID at the top of the hour?
Yes, I did.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown.
I'm truly.
While you were admiring a summer song.
Was outstanding. You wouldn't even.
That I played.
In there.
Well, no, Dave, I knew you played it, but I said that had the Michael Wentz show lineup, it seemed like.
Learn more online.
You stuck with the trend is what I was getting at.
And I was trying to think who that was. That's not Herman's Hermits. Who's saying?
No, Chad and Jeremy.
Chad and Jeremy.
No, I'm just running off the same CD he had in the player.
See?
With each game, as he signs off one last time.
There's got to be some England Dan in there.
Colleague and friend. His legacy will be remembered, and he will be dearly missed as part of the Life Care family.
This is Joe Tate. Have a good night, everybody.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
This afternoon's Diamond Duel brought to you by the Center for Orthopedics. From sports injuries to total joint replacement surgery, you can trust the Center for Orthopedics to take care of your family like one of their own. Call 440-329-2800 to make your appointment today. Bottom of the third, Lorain trailing 2-1. Ron Polinsky, Jared Kozar, live from the Pipe Yard in Lorain. Back in studio control, Dave Rydell, who was in relief of Michael Wenschow. Hope you enjoyed Game 1. Rocco Nushi of our doubleheader. It was Midview losing to Elyria 8-5. And Jared, maybe we're on to something. Maybe we can start a trend where we could do some double headers at different places on Saturdays. At least I'd like the idea, the concept to open up the season. We got 4 area teams from 2 different locations. We knew exactly when the first game would end at Elyria and when this one would start from Keystone or from Lorain, so the timing couldn't have been better. And sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, right?
Today I think we're going to be both, but in a lot of ways, just yet another thing that we've proven we can do. And sometimes once you get it out of the way once, the next time won't be as tough. But a lot of things worked for us, and a lot of accommodations were made, so we thank everybody involved.
Carlos Gonzalez was hit by a pitch his first time aboard. He's the top of the order. So 1, 2, 3 batters here in the bottom of the third for Lorain, trailing 2-1, an 0-2 count. Quickly, Brock Miller out in front. That one's a little high and outside, 1-2. That was a good 0-2 pitch from freshman Brock Miller. He tried to entice Gonzalez, make it close enough that he would swing, but he did not. It's 1-2. Miller into the wind. Well, I thought he was. Now he is. And the 1-2. High and outside, 2-2. Let's reset the Keystone defense here in the home half of the third. At first is senior Sean Satterley. Down at second, senior Justin Bowen. At shortstop is senior Avery Blankenship. Sophomore Jack Civic is at third base. That's called strike 3, and Gonzalez is out. He does not agree with that call from umpire Doug Long, and it's the third strikeout for Miller. Outfield left to right, sophomore Caleb Davis, and left senior in center Nathan Archer, and out and right is senior Rocky Houston. Behind the plate, senior Nathan Prunty, and on the mound, freshman Brock Miller. His first pitch is a called strike to Jose Rivera. Rivera flew into a double play. It was a 9-3 double play back in the first. He hit a nice shot that Rocky Houston came up with, and Houston fired it to Satterley as they doubled up Gonzalez. A ball and a strike. Miller now off the rubber. Steps back on. And the freshman right-hander into the windup. That's high and outside, 2-1. Keystone with the loss in game 1 is 7-7. Lorain with the win goes to 4-5. Sun is out in Lorain. A little chilly, but all in all, a pretty nice day. Swing and a miss, a ball and 2 strikes to senior catcher Jose Rivera. Batting .545 coming into the doubleheader. Doesn't have any RBIs on the campaign. And Miller looks into Prunty. They come to an agreement. Now the pitch. That's outside, ball 4. So a nice job by Rivera. Works his way to a 1-out walk. I knew what I wanted to say. They'll bring up Tyler Costco. He struck out to end the first. First pitch is ball 1.
Couple of scores to pass along. Baseball-wise, Avon over Avon Lake at the end of 2 by a score of 1-0. Final in softball, it was Westlake defeating Bay 13-3.
Swing and a miss, ball and a strike.
Staying with softball, Elyria leads Norwayne at the end of 1 by a score of 2-1.
That they would still be down at that Wendy's Classic, I believe, down in Ashland.
Yep.
They lost yesterday to Amherst. That one sent sky high in the infield. Now Prunty in foul territory, the catcher, right behind home plate, comes up with it for the out. So Costco pops out to the catcher in foul territory, 2 out. We can give you some scores from yesterday. Jared bringing me the Chronicle Telegram. In baseball yesterday in the Lorain County League, it was Firelands over Columbia 13-0. Brookside bested Clearview 4-0. And the SBC yesterday in baseball, Vermilion over Edison 6-2. Non-conference games. This one was played at Progressive Field. It was Kenston over Avon Lake 5-4, and Avon defeated Hudson 16-3. And we're going to get a pinch runner coming in for the Wildcats, or I should say for the Titans. It'll be Nathan Gomez running. Nathan Antis steps in. He walked and scored at Lorain's only run back in the second. Pitch is low and outside. In softball yesterday at that Windy Spring Classic in Ashland, it was Amherst over Elyria 8-3. Hillsdale defeated Keystone 3-1. In the SBC, it was Edison all over Vermilion 12-1. That one's low and outside. Non-conference softball yesterday in 8 innings. Avon bested Huron 3-2. Mags defeated Lutheran West 8-4. And Bay defeated the Lorain Titans 8-6. So that's the scoreboard from yesterday. Swing and a miss. Nice healthy cut for Nathan Antis. The pinch runner Nathan Gomez down at first. 2 outs in the bottom of the third. Titans trail the Cats 2-1. There's a called strike. Nathan Antis, a junior shortstop, 429 batting average, 4 RBIs coming into the double dip. Swung on, rips that one into left field. It'll be a solid base hit. Caleb Davis will come up with it, and stopping at second base is going to be Jose Rivera. 2 on, 2 out in the bottom of the third for the Titans.
Well, that was a good piece of hitting there. It just worked out. Antis relatively patient after falling behind in the count, and was rewarded there with one he could hit.
They'll bring up Jacob Addis. He's 1 for 1 with a single, coming in batting .318 with a homer and 10 RBIs. Titans with 2 on and 2 out in the bottom of the third, trailing 2-1. Mueller comes set. That one bounces away from Prunty, and the runners are going to go to second and third. A wild pitch. Prunty couldn't do anything about it. That bounced way in front of the plate. And the runners move up to second and third. And now, if Addis is able to get a hit, the Titans could take the lead. Addis waves that bat. The pitch from Brock Miller. Swung on, ripped down the third base line. Oh, a great diving stop by Civic. Throws to first in time. Jack Civic keeps the Wildcats in front with a hell of a play at third base. He robs Addis, and the Wildcats are still out in front thanks to the glove work of Jack Civic. So for the Titans in the third. Oh, did we write that? Hopefully. We
still got Joe.
After 3, it's 2-1. We'll be back right after this.
We're dialing up, Dave. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Joe. We just got knocked off the air.
Surgical treatment options have failed.
Okay, we're back.
Then we may consider joint replacement of the hip.
Did we miss that
For an
play?
appointment, please call the Center for
The end of the inning?
Yes, we did.
All right, I'll
329-2800.
So I've just run 3 spots.
All right.
Your home begins when
take
you
it out
call
of this.
Raymond Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Is that the first time we
Since
dropped? Or was there
1957.
It was just got real jittery and then gone.
Who knows
And
why?
repair. Right now, there's
Should we try to go up or down on this, or leave it where it is?
I'd say leave it be right now.
And stay cool and comfortable right through the summer.
Take it out of this.
Raymond Plumbing, Heating, and
Oh.
Air Conditioning.
Guess
Your
I'm not
key
supposed to say
to
hello.
all season comfort.
That was, though.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Well, while you were gone, I apologize for that. I had a problem with the phone line here. Jack Civic made a great play to end the bottom of the third, so we go to the top of the fourth, and Civic will come up to bat here for the Wildcats. It was a screaming shot from Addis that went down the third that Civic dove, came up with it, threw to first for the out. So Keystone leads it 2-1 here in the top of the fourth, and Civic makes the great play on defense, comes up to bat, and he'll single into left field. Hidalgo comes up with it, and for the third time in 4 innings, Keystone with their leadoff batter aboard.
So now you got to think with Civic, what was more impressive? It was a series of 3: the stop, the throw, or that base knock right there. So yeah, things are coming up all Civic right now.
I would say in that order. It was the stop was the most impressive, then the throw, and then that single. But
it was a really good throw.
Well, yeah, it was tremendous play, and especially with the pressure on, with his team out in front by 1 and runners at second and third and 2 outs. He doesn't make that play, and Lorain leads. Blankenship bunts, gets it to in front of the pitcher, Van Sickle. He'll throw to first, and that is just in time. Boy, Blankenship with a really nice sacrifice bunt and almost had an infield hit. Civic gets to second as the small ball works for the Wildcats, and they get Civic to second with 1 out. Jared, we talked about, we've done it a lot of times, all the sponsors we have, we thank them, especially for the spring sports, making them possible, you know, the Cobos Insurance Center, EcoTree, Life Care Centers, all the people that make the games possible. Also, our season sponsor, Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, and with Keystone playing, Jared, I know we want to send our well wishes to our good friends and general manager, Chuck Sturgill, who yesterday had a health scare, and Chuck is in the hospital recovering. That one's going to be sent to right field, and it's going to bounce in front of the right fielder, Mason Davis, for a hit. Civic will stop at third. So Brock Miller with a hit puts runners at first and third and 1 out. But our thoughts and prayers are with Chuck Sturgill and his wife Kim and their family. And Chuck's been a great friend for a long time to you and I. Fantastic supporter of high school sports and everything that we do at WEOL, and the longtime Keystone backer. We're thinking of him today with this game here with his Wildcats. And again, he had a health scare yesterday, and we just want Chuck to know that he's in our thoughts and prayers this weekend. Don't scare us like that again.
Yeah, hopefully the road to recovery is swift for Chuck Sturgill and company. As you know, maybe he's taking this one in and listening on the app. You never know.
Satterley grounds it to short, throw to second for 1. Throw back to first will be not in time, and Civic scores. So Satterley beats it out. That one wasn't hit very hard. Ansis got it to Costco, who tried to fire to first, but not in time. It's an RBI ground out. It wouldn't surprise me at all if Chuck is listening at Fairview Hospital. Hopefully, again, our well wishes for Chuck and his family as we're thinking of him, and everybody in the LaGrange community is as well. So now there are 2 outs, and at first is Satterley. Keystone leads 3-1, and the pitch is a called strike to Dylan Belknap. He grounded out to third to end the second. Keystone up 3-1, top of the fourth. Satterley at first, 2 outs. Satterley was a member of the basketball team for Jeff Holzhauer this year. That one's a little outside. And, you know, Jared, I know you and Rocco touched on it as I listened to some of Game 1. But just to have spring sports once again, after last year not having them, this is our first opportunity today to watch it. Sometimes you don't know what you miss until you don't have it. And the kids not being able to play last year, now just out here, it's just great to see it.
It really is. You know, I've had a couple of, you know, evenings where I've been driving home where you see it over there off of 113 at EC, and you think to yourself, wow, where was that for a whole year?
Right.
And you know, I think about that as well, and you're right, it is good to see.
The pitch to Belknap. And that one's just off the corner on the off-speed pitch.
Just something about it feels like, you know, as we start to hopefully turn the corner on this whole situation we're in as far as the pandemic is concerned, a return to normalcy, and certainly spring sports and baseball, softball are part of that.
The pitch, that one sent to left field, well hit, racing back. It's going to be over the head of Hidalgo. Around second, heading for third base is Satterley. He's going to come in to score. The relay won't come, and Keystone leads 4-1 on an RBI double by Dylan Belknap, and that was the furthest hit ball this afternoon. So Satterley scores. Keystone's up 4-1, and now to the top of the order. And for Belknap, his third ribby of the year. Bring in Justin Bowen. Wildcats up 4-1 here in the top of the fourth. Indians baseball when we're done. 3:35 pregame or whenever this one ends. First pitch at 4:10. Tribe and the Reds try to bounce back after that loss yesterday. Van Sickle with the pitch, 1-0. Justin Bowen, senior second baseman, is 1 for 2 with a double and a run scored. Young man doesn't wear batting gloves. Right-hand batter. Belknap with a short lead off second to turn. The throw back to second. He's in time. Back in time, I should say, standing up. Covering at second base is Tyler Costco. And I wonder if that'll shorten the lead even a little bit more for Belknap. The pitch. Taking it, and it's ball one. Justin Bowen, senior second baseman for the Wildcats. Wears number 9 on the back of his purple jersey. That one's going to be sent down to third. Addis comes up with it, drops it, picks it up, fires to first. Not in time. It's going to get away from the first baseman, Rocky Rivera, and that's going to let a run score. So Addis had it, dropped it, tried to hurry to fire to first and threw it away. And Bowen is safe on the air. And that means the third run of the inning is Dylan Belknap, and Keystone now leads 5-1.
And if you were Lorain with Van Sickle going today, with you mentioned just 2 1/3 innings behind him on the season, this is what you wanted to avoid, was that big inning. It looks like his afternoon's done.
It is. Van Sickle's going to come out off the pitching mound, and we will get a new pitcher for Lorain. We'll tell you about him. We'll get you the new pitcher. He's going to be a lefty, I can tell you that. He's also going to be bigger than Mr. Van Sickle. We'll come up with the new pitcher for Lorain when we come back after this timeout. We're in the top of the fourth. Keystone leads it by a score of 5-1. You're listening to the WEOL Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on AM 930, on FM 100.3, and online anytime, Jared.
At WEOL.com. Drop right when that happened?
I don't know. It says unavailable. Should we try a different number?
We could try base 1. Let's tell them if we drop again, we're going to go on base 1. Not that. Or do you mean a different rate?
But either one.
I would stay here. I really don't think
Avoid
it's bad.
close contact with people who are sick.
Hey, if we could disconnect it again, Dave, we're thinking about trying in on base 1. I don't know if that would make a difference.
Cover.
I'm guessing not.
Probably not, but we're just...
Probably not, but I got you guys good right now.
Thanks.
Nation, visit CDC.
I dropped in a PSA real quick here to buy time.
Message brought to you by the National Association of Broadcasters and this station.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Not sure what you missed, but Lorain with the pitching change again apologizes. We've had a few technical blips here with the phone line, but on the mound now will be Nathan Glorioso, a senior pitcher for the Lorain Titans. He's a left-handed pitcher, and Van Sickle comes out after with 2 outs in the fourth, so he went 3 2/3 innings. Gave up 5 runs. They're not all earned, as the defense let him down a little bit here in this inning. But I thought all in all for Van Sickle, you know, he had a decent outing. This is a lefty-lefty matchup. And a Glorioso with the pitch. That one's high and inside, ball 1 to Rocky Houston. Glorioso has pitched 9 in the third innings. This is his 5th appearance of the year. He does have 1 start. An 0-1 record. The lefty's pitch. Here's a called strike on the inside corner. Nice placement, 1-1. He's given up 20 hits, 21 runs. 15 of them are earned. Walked 4, struck out 3. So he is not a strikeout pitcher. 3 strikeouts and 9 in the third innings. He has hit 4 batters. His pitch is fisted foul, 1-2. And he is a senior. So we have Bowen at first, 2 outs, 3 runs are in the top of the 4th. Keystone leads at 5-1. Open stance for Rocky Houston. He's 2 for 2 today with a couple of singles. And Jared, I was looking down at my scorecard, so I missed that. Was that a balk that sends Bowen down to second?
I think they're just explaining that to Glorioso right now, that's what the call is, a balk.
So the pitcher with a balk makes Bowen go to second. The pitch swung on, foul tipped into the mitt, strike 3. Houston is out, and that is should be the 3rd out. That's the end of the inning. So Glorioso comes in, gets the strikeout, and that'll end the 4th. But Keystone with some damage. They did 3 runs, and we'll recap the hits and all that after this timeout. 3 runs at the top of the 4th. We're halfway through. Wildcats lead at 5-1. You're listening to the Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel, AM 930, FM 100.3. Jared, we're online.
At WEOL.com.
Shopaholics and people who hate shopping have one thing in common. Neither likes to shop for insurance. At Grange
how we doing on
Insurance,
spots,
we get
by
that.
the way?
That's why we recommend buying through independent agents.
Let Cobos Insurance do the shopping for you.
We doing all
Cobos
right?
We have, let me count them up here real quick.
The best ones. Companies like Grange, who offer great value and exception.
We have 7 left.
Cobos Insurance today at 440-324-3732.
Products not available in all states.
Winter storms can do a number on your trees. Hi, I'm Tim Elkhorn, radio voice of the Cavs, talking about Eco Tree Services. Call
We can
now.
go down to
Eco
just
Tree
one
Services
spot
take
then
care of problem trees
during the next
before they
couple of
cause
breaks.
damage.
Spread
And
it out a little
after
bit.
storms, they offer 24-hour.
Yeah, we have 6 left.
Yeah, we'll just
Eco
go to
Tree
one
is
spot
owned
now.
by second-generation family.
Got it.
And they use the newest, most efficient equipment in the industry. Make Eco Tree Services your complete tree care company. Learn more online at ecotreeservices.com.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
This afternoon's Diamond Duel was brought to you by the Center for Orthopedics. They deliver the first-rate care you deserve. Call them at 440-329-2800 or go online to Center, the number 4, orthopedics.com for an appointment today. Bottom of the 4th, it's the Lorain Titans who need to play some catch-up. They're trailing 5-1. It'll be the 6, 7, and 8 hitters that are up against a Brock Miller, Jesse El Hidalgo, Rocky Rivera, Mason Davis come up, trailing 5-1. Miller into the line, and the first pitch at the bottom of the 4th is a called strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Doug Long behind the plate, out on the bases today, umpire Todd Strebel. Miller's gone the entire way, the freshman with the 0-1. That one's going to be sent to second on one hop. Coming up with it is Bowen. He'll throw to first in time for the out. So the out goes 4-3. Again, today's game was on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television. Miller into the wind and the pitch. Swung on and foul tipped, 0-1.
The way they want to
We got you.
using this program. And it's a program worth.
Hello.
Yep. We're here.
For more information.
Okay. Bringing it back up after this PA runs out.
Handicap.
10 seconds.
Congress, visit loc.gov/thatallmayread or call 1-888-NLS-READ.
Go.
Not sure what's going on with this phone line here, but something will change by the next time we come here. Either the phone line will be fixed, we'll do it a different way, something will change, or that I can guarantee you. So we apologize. I don't know what the problem is. And we have one out and nobody on here in the bottom of the 4th. But again, today's game is on WLCS TV 20. Glad that Joe Bach, Terry Trout, Bob Schlembacher, and the gang is all here. 1 out, nobody on. The pitch. That one's going to be sent into short right field. Rocky Houston camps under it, waits for it, and easily puts it out for 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. Mason Davis will come up. He's 0 for 1. And again, Lorain City Schools Television, they do such a great job. WLCS TV 20. That's 1025 if you're watching on Spectrum Cable. You can follow us on Twitter at LCS_TV20. Check out the YouTube station at TV20. They've got all the archive games, and as Jared mentioned earlier, graduation ceremonies. They go all the way back to 1985. Boy, 1985, that's a heck of a long time ago, Jared.
Yeah, it's one of the things that Pelt always complains about is that you can't see him go down that aisle, and I said, we know, Pelt, it's okay.
Oh, well, then I would make the argument maybe he didn't. You know, maybe that's why you can't see him.
Gary?
Who says he graduated?
Well, he was an 81 guy.
Okay. He says. The pitch. That's high. I was making fun of 85 because I'm very familiar with that year. You can, again, follow us on Twitter at LCS_TV20. Check out Lorain Schools TV 20 on Facebook for all your entertainment and informational needs. The pitch. That's low, ball 4. And a 2-out walk to Mason Davis. That'll bring up J.D. Van Sickle, the starting pitcher, who I believe now is the DH. And Van Sickle stays with his bat. As coming in relief to pitch was Glorioso.
And we found out about that in the pregame when the Lorain lineup came up, and you had made a remark that, wait, this can't happen. And I said, yes, it can. He can stay in as the DH even though he's not pitching any longer. So.
First game for all of us. Van Sickle, sky high, down the third base line in foul territory. Coming down and making the put out is going to be Jack Civic. So Van Sickle's out, and so are the so are the Titans here in the bottom of the 4th. There were no runs. There were no hits. There were no errors. A walk and 1 left. We've played 4. It's Keystone 5, Lorain 1 on the Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on AM 930, FM 100.3. Download the mobile app and listen online anytime, Jared.
At WEOL.com.
Life Care Center of Westlake, Medina,
Should I
and
turn
Elyria.
down my mic?
Honor
Is
Joe
part of it
Tate,
just that?
who
Am I
brought
too
energy
hot?
to our
No,
hearts and
it's not
homes
that.
with each game.
Okay.
No, it's just that even at 21.6, it's the rate bit rates keep fluctuating.
Really missed as
It's the phone line.
So meaning this is Joe Tate.
Have a
everybody.
I'm gonna toss in a PSA after this guy here.
Okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Top of the 5th, Keystone leads at 5-1. Rob Polinsky, Jared Kozar. Keystone unofficially 5 runs. They did it on so far 7 hits, and they've left 3. For Lorain, they have 1 run on just 2 hits. They have left 5 on the bases. On the mound in his second inning of relief is left-handed pitcher Nathan Glorioso. At the plate is Nathan Archer, a lefty-lefty matchup. And Archer goes to bunt, and he bunts it foul, 0-1. Archer, Prunty, and Civic, 3, 4, and 5 batters for the Wildcats. Wildcats have scored in 3 of the 4 innings. They are trying for a split of this doubleheader. They lost game 1, 7-3. And the Wildcats 7-7, Lorain at 4-5. The wind and the pitch, high and outside. Again, mentioned a couple times, but it's great to see Joe Bach, Terry Trout, Bob Schlumbaker. And you know what? Congratulations to Bob. He has announced that he will be retiring on June 1st. Our best wishes to Bob and his wife as he will retire. We've teased Bob over the years, and but it's been great to work with him. We'll miss him, and he is retiring June 1st, and we wish him the best. The pitch inside. You only tease the ones you like, Jared.
Certainly, his
so certainly I must like Bob an awful lot.
His service record speaks for itself in terms of reliability, dependability, availability. Bob has never disappointed in those categories.
The pitch. High ball 4. Prunty with a lead, or Archer with a leadoff walk. That brings up Prunty. So Nathan Prunty, 0 for 2. Flew into an 8-6-3 kind of bizarre inning-ending double play and then grounded out to short. Prunty came in batting .364, 3 homers, 15 RBIs.
What that really does is put the pressure on Joe Bach, though, to keep this going the way he does without a stalwart like Bob Schlembacher in the lineup for him.
I thought you were going to say it puts the pressure on Terry Trout, because that's how I felt about it.
As well.
Throw to first. Prunty will try to get down to second, and he is able to beat the throw. They had him picked off, Jared, as it was Archer at first. They threw to first. He was heading for second, never stopped, and he was able to steal second. So Glorioso with the right idea, but between him and Rivera, they couldn't make the pick off and then the caught stealing work.
It's always tough when execution fails you at that point, because you're right, it was the right idea, and but now it's the Wildcats who have a chance to add to their lead here.
The pitch. There's a called strike. So it's Prunty at the plate, 0 for 2. A chance for an RBI hit here. His teammate and classmate Nathan Archer, the senior, down at second. Nobody out, top of the fifth. Wildcats lead at 5-1. That's chopped to third. Addis comes up with it, looks the runner back, then throws high to first, but it's going to be in time to get Prunty, but that's going to let Archer get down to third, and that's a nice play at first base by Rocky Rivera, because he just saved Addis from a throwing error. So the out is 5-3. That'll bring up Jack Civic. Civic had a heck of a play defensively that you missed due to our phone line situation. But it was Civic back in the third inning. Made a diving stop and throw to end the inning, and it was a 2-1 lead at the time for Keystone with runners at second and third. That preserved the lead. And now Civic at the plate is 2 for 2 with a couple of singles, couple of runs scored. He's had a heck of a day here in game 2, Jared. That one sent a shot down the third base line and foul. Archer had to duck to get out of the way. Strike one.
Yeah, Archer proving why you always have to be aware out there, head in a swivel, because Civic went right over his head on that one.
And it's also why, as a runner, you're always in foul territory off the third base line, because if you're hitting fair territory, you're out. The pitch, that one's going to be sent to third. Addis comes up with it, looks home. He'll throw home the side, and he is safe. Addis couldn't quite come up with it cleanly, tried to fire home, and just beating the throw is Nathan Archer with the score on the fielder's choice. So the fielder's choice makes Civic safe at first. He does get an RBI on that, and he's safe at first on that fielder's choice. That'll bring up Avery Blankenship. He's had a walk and a sacrifice bunt, so he doesn't have an official plate appearance today. Wildcats now leading 6-1. They've scored in 4 of the 5 innings. Throw to first, getting back in time is Civic.
You mentioned that last run coming up across the plate to put one across here in this inning. I think Addis might be second-guessing himself over there. I don't know if that's really something he should do, because he's trying to keep his team in the ballgame and make a play at the plate.
Time was called. And is there another balk? Doug Long, the home plate umpire, I believe, has called another balk, the second one on Glorioso, the relief pitcher for Lorain. And that means Civic is safe at second. And now Coach Turnus and Doug Long having a conversation. Doug Long and Brad Turnus obviously discussing the 2 balk calls on Glorioso, a short conversation. And the Turnus satisfied with that explanation, goes back to the third base dugout. Doug Long back behind the plate. And Avery Blankenship is the batter. Hidalgo comes set. The pitch, that one's set to center field. It's going to be a base hit. But stopping at second to wait to see if it was going to be go through is Civic, so he can only go to third. And a Blankenship is safe at first with the single. So it's a 1-out single for Blankenship. Civic down to third. Runners on the corners with 1 out in the top of the 6th. And Glorioso going to come out of the game here, Jared. We have a visit at the mound. Hidalgo looks like he's going to hand the ball to Coach Turnus, but maybe not. Maybe this is just a conversation out here, Jared. They haven't made a move yet. The entire infield is around the mound. Pretty long conversation out here.
Are they working his delivery maybe in terms of what Doug Long might have unfolded to Coach Turnus? Maybe they're talking about how that is. I don't know.
I don't know. And this is a pretty long conversation for the home plate umpire not to break it up. Are they waiting for Doug Long to come out there? This is interesting. No. So now they do break it up on their own. Doug Long didn't go out to visit. And they leave Hidalgo in. So who knows what that was. But maybe they just want to talk about how they want to defend Brock Miller here, Jared, with 2 on and 1 out in the top of the 5th. Keystone leading it by a score of 6-1. We're less than an hour away from Indians baseball, the Indians and the Cincinnati Reds when we're done here. That one's going to be bunted over the first base side. Great bunt by Brock Miller, and everybody's going to be safe. Run scores. Miller with a tremendous bunt up the first base line. Coming down from first base was Rivera. Nobody went over to cover, and that's an infield hit for Miller and an RBI. That's a tremendous bunt. And I'll tell you what, the small ball of Keystone in this game 2 of the doubleheader has been impressive, Jared.
Sure has, moving the runners around, doing all those things, staying aggressive, too, throughout the course of the contest. So, following really what was a big inning in game 1 that led to them coming out in the short end of that one, they haven't let that bother them so far.
Satterley looks at a called strike. Sean Satterley, the batter, number 8 batter. He's got a couple of RBIs today. Ball 1. So runners at first and second. 1 out here in the top of the 5th. 2 runs are in, and Keystone leads it 7-1. Satterley with a chance to add to that. Looks at that one. It's inside and low, and getting away from the catcher. Everybody's going to move up. So the runners go to second and third. And now Satterley with a base hit could get a couple of RBIs. He's already got 2 ribbies today.
I guess that would be part of it, too. It's just quality at bats by Keystone in terms of, taking what Lorain's going to give them and not really going to too many lengths to work themselves into a shooter or commit mental errors at the plate.
Blankenship at third, Miller at second, 1 out in the top of the 5th. Keystone with 2 runs in, leads it 7-1 as they try to get a split on this doubleheader. That's low and inside. It gets away from the catcher, and Blankenship's going to come in to score. So Blankenship will score, and heading down to third on that one is Brock Miller. 3 runs for the Wildcats in the inning. And that's the second consecutive inning the Wildcats have scored 3 times, and they now lead at 8-1. Game 1 went to Lorain by a score of 7-3, but game 2, it's now all Keystone. Miller at third, still 1 out. Satterley's going to send that, rip it into left center field, racing back and off the glove of the center fielder, Carlos Gonzalez. Satterley will get into second. He'll stop there, and that's an RBI double for Satterley off the glove of Gonzalez. He gave a good effort, Jared, and he raced back. It went off his mitt, and Sean Satterley has his 3rd RBI of the day.
You're right. Gonzalez did not get burnt by that one. He caught up to it. It just couldn't quite squeeze it in there to make the play. But nice piece of hitting by Satterley. He's been on the screws all day long so far, and he looks pretty poised. Again, a 3 RBI day. Pretty good in the middle of that Keystone lineup.
And the Wildcats now lead at 9-1. And that'll bring up Dylan Belknap, who had an RBI double and is 1 for 2. Belknap bats 9th. He is the senior designated hitter. Ball 1. Satterley at second. Still only 1 out. Keystone up 9-1 with 4 runs so far. Swing and a miss. Big cut by Belknap, a ball and a strike. It was a 2-1 game in the top of the 4th, and the Wildcats have erupted for 7 in the last 2 innings to increase a 2-1 lead to 9-1. The pitch, swing and a miss. Strike 2. Or is that strike 3? I guess that's
strike 3. They dropped it, but then they actually did not drop it. Didn't have to make a throw to first.
Okay, so Belknap strikes out. Out number 2, that'll bring up Justin Bowen, top of the order. Bowen is 1 for 3 with a double and a run scored. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Bowen, a senior second baseman, came in batting .211, leadoff batter, right-hand batter. His first chance to see Hidalgo, who came in relief in the 4th, from the starting pitcher J.D. Van Sickle. Slow curveball is just a bit high, 1-1. Satterley at second, 2 outs, top of the 5th. Wildcats up 9-1. Satterley goes. That one's going to be sent down the third base line in foul territory. Addis comes in and makes a sliding catch in foul territory to end the inning. Nice effort by third baseman Jacob Addis. So the Wildcats are done in the top of the 5th, but what an inning for them. They get 4 runs. We played 4.5. It's Keystone 9, Lorain 1 on the Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel. Today's game is on AM 930, FM 100.3. Download the mobile app. Listen online anytime, Jared.
At WEOL.com.
Enjoy Smitty's in Elyria.
So
Monday
since
through
we've gone to
Saturday,
base
starting at
one,
11
we
for
haven't
lunch
dropped.
and dinner.
Did that have anything to
Dine-in
do
or
with it?
carry out.
We don't know, but
It's bubbled. It bubbled a little bit, but it's been holding steady.
yeah, I'm going to take it for now.
Stop in after the game.
I'm Ohio Governor
But I'm just
Mike
saying
DeWine.
that's all since,
This is no ordinary
right?
It has been that long.
in the country, in the
Just
world.
wondered if, if
Closures,
being on baseball.
social distancing, changing behaviors, it's all very difficult and
All very necessary.
Small acts will make a difference. Thank you for what you are doing each and every day.
4 left, boss.
We're in this together.
That is correct.
Thank you.
Mike DeWine in the OAB.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
It'd be nice if the phone line would stay and wouldn't drop so we could call a baseball game. Wouldn't it be nice?
Whoa, well, I know that Brian Wilson and Mike Love are not sharing lunch anywhere right now, but if they were, they would say, Rob Blinsky, what are you doing to our tune?
Sorry. This afternoon's Diamond Duel is brought to you by the Center for Orthopedics, delivering the first-rate care you deserve. Call 440-329-2800 or go online to Center, the number 4, orthopedics.com for an appointment today. I hope that doesn't make one of our promos.
The happy innings together, we could share them.
Bottom of the 5th, Lorain trails 9-1. Rob Polinsky, for now, alongside Jared Kozar. Who knows if they'll let me come back next Friday, but at the bottom of the 5th, Titans trailing 9-1. Brock Miller's gone the entire way on the mound. His pitch blowing away to Carlos Gonzalez, the leadoff batter for the Lorain Titans. Gonzalez 1 for 2 today. He was hit by a pitch, and he struck out.
If it doesn't work out for you this week, Rob, I think Joe Bach will have you back. He seemed pretty impressed with those moves.
That's went outside 2-1. Defensively for the Wildcats in Game 2, Satterley's at first, Bowen at second, Blankenship at short, Civic at third. Davies out in left, Archer in center, Houston in right. Pitch is just low and outside, ball 4. Prunty behind the plate, Brock Miller on the mound. So a leadoff walk for Lorain here in the bottom of the 5th. They trail 9-1. And for the Titans, that is the 3rd time in 5 innings that their leadoff batter has been aboard. So that's been a theme today. Keystone has gotten the leadoff runner aboard 4 out of 5 innings. Lorain 3 out of 5, but Keystone with much more offensive success, leading 9-1. Jose Rivera takes a look at ball 1, and you wonder, maybe could Brock Miller be tiring a bit? We don't have the amount of innings pitched on the year for him and his stats, but we do know that he's 1-0 and just a freshman, so I doubt he's had a ton of appearances. That's a called strike. He's given up 7 earned runs coming into this one, 7 hits, 1-0 on the year, 13 walks, 17 strikeouts. Throw to first, back in time, is Gonzalez.
With a 9-1 lead and this being game 2 of a doubleheader, the leash may be a little bit longer than normal.
The non-conference doubleheader, I'm sure they want to save some pitching for their league games, Jared. The Keystone 4-2 and the LC8. And sometimes in these non-conference games on Saturdays, you try to get some of your younger guys some work. That one bounces in, and coming up with it is Prunty. Again, thanks to our season sponsors of high school baseball and softball on WEOL. Appreciate everybody being back with us after missing a year of spring sports. Center for Orthopedics, Nick Abraham, Elyria Ford, Cobos Insurance Center. Swung on. That one's going to be sent to right field in front of Rocky Houston. It's a base hit. Houston will fire it in, and the first 2 Titans are aboard here in the bottom of the 5th. Also, let me finish off with, again, the season sponsors, EcoTree Services, Life Care Centers of Elyria, Medina, Westlake, Raymond Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning right here in Lorain. And, of course, sponsoring this opening weekend, this doubleheader, thanks to Stephanie Forthover and everybody at Smitty's. Show bunt takes a back ball 1 to Tyler Costco, the junior second baseman, who's 0 for 2 today. So the Titans down 8 have the first 2 on here in the bottom of the 5th. Trailing 9-1. Blankenship covers second, throw home, strike 1, back throw to second base, and getting back in time was Gonzalez. That was kind of an interesting play, Jared. Blankenship to shortstop, went to cover second. They threw home for the called strike, and Prunty took a chance to see if maybe Gonzalez wasn't staying awake out there, but he was. He threw it through. You don't see that very often. Bunted it foul into the screen. You know, the late, great Herb Score, who did Indians baseball for so many years on the radio, again towards the end of his career with Tom Hamilton, but before that he was the voice of Indians baseball with Joe Tate and others in the 60s through the 90s. He used to say, you never know what you're going to see at a game. You can always see something that you've never seen before. And that's called strike 3. Costco is out, and I bring that up because we saw earlier today something I've never seen. Mason Davis, his first time coming up, batted. It was supposed to be Rocky Rivera. After 2 pitches, they realized it, and they had Davis go back to the dugout, and Rivera come up and just take over the 1-1 strike.
Never caught that
1-1 call.
Yep.
That one's high ball 1. I thought for sure they would, he would be called out, but they did not do that. So that is the 4th strikeout today for young Brock Miller. The freshman has been really impressive. And Nathan Antis now awaits the pitch. There's a called strike, 1-1. Antis is 1 for 1. Walked and scored in the second, singled in the third. Nathan Antis, junior shortstop, came in batting .429, 4 RBIs. That's high and outside, 2-1.
Now, the only thing I can think about with that, Rob, is if the home plate umpire doesn't catch that, do they just let it go and say, well, you get a chance because I didn't catch the fact that you batted out of order? I don't know.
I would like to ask about that after the game. That's low and outside, 3-1. Gonzalez at second, Rivera at first. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine on that. That was very, very interesting. 2 on, 1 out. Keystone leads 9-1 in the bottom of the 5th. There's a called strike. Antis doesn't agree. And I think that was a 9-1 bottom of the 5th inning, game 2 of a doubleheader strike call. The pitch, that one's going to be lifted into left center field, racing in, and it's going to bounce in front of the center fielder, Nathan Archer, but he'll throw to third, and it just skips away from Civic, so the runners are all safe. They almost would have had a fielder's choice, Jared, because unable to get a jump was Gonzalez at second because he thought that Archer might make that catch. So he waits. Archer fired to third. At one hop, Civic got away from him, or else that would have been a fielder's choice, not a single. But now you've got the bases loaded, and Bert Fitzgerald is going to come out and visit with Brock Miller, and maybe the day is done for the young freshman. Fitzgerald gives him a pat, and he is going to take the baseball from him. And what a job for Brock Miller, the young freshman, who goes 4 1/3 innings, and to this point has given up just 1 run. So that'll do it for Brock Miller. We're going to take a timeout. We'll tell you about the new pitcher for Keystone when you come back. You're listening to the Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel, bottom of the fifth. Keystone leading 9-1. You're listening to the Diamond Duel on AM 930, FM 100.3. You can listen online anytime, Jared.
At WEOL.com.
Most people know they need life insurance, but don't know how much or if they can afford it. Grange has been helping clients keep their promises for generations, working with independent insurance agents like Cobos Insurance Center. Call Cobos Insurance Center today and gain the peace of mind that comes from...
Okay, I was going to drop a PSA and an ID.
Your loved one's
do the
financial
ID. Don't do a
futures are
PSA. I
secure.
need to get this kid's
Call
stats
Cobos
up.
Insurance Center.
All right.
324-3732 or online visit CobosINS.com.
WEOL, Elyria, Lorain, Medina.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Gage Nepper comes in for the Keystone Wildcats and get a chance to peruse his stats here. This will be, it looks like for him, he has pitched to 7 batters this year. I'm sorry, he's faced 2 batters. He's paid 7 pitches. An 0-0 record. He has given up 1 hit and has 1 strikeout. So Gage Nepper, with very brief appearances this year, is on the mound. He's a right-handed pitcher for the Keystone Wildcats. And for Nepper, the young man is a senior. So he's in relief of Brock Miller, where the freshman was outstanding today. He went 4 1/3, giving up 1 run to this point. The runners on base are his responsibility. Bases are loaded for junior third baseman Jacob Addis. First pitch from Nepper is low and outside, ball 1. Terry Trout working hard on the WLCS TV 20 crew. Here's a called strike. Addis is 1 for 2 today with a single and a ground out. Gonzalez at third, Rivera at second, Antis at first, Addis at the plate. That's inside, 2-1. Keystone leads 9-1. We're in the home half of inning number 5. Bases juiced, 1 out. The pitch. Swung on, that's lifted into center field. Coming in and making the catch in center field is going to be Nathan Archer. Throw comes home. It's cut off by Nepper, and that's a sacrifice fly, as scoring is Gonzalez. So Gonzalez scores on the sacrifice fly. 2 outs. And it's an RBI for Addis. That'll be his 11th of the season. And Lorain cuts the lead to 9-2, and it'll be Jesse L. Hidalgo, who was 0 for 1. He had a sacrifice bunt and grounded out. 2 on, 2 out. That one sent to center. Archer again coming in, and he'll make the put out. And nice job coming in relief by Nepper to get the final 2 outs of inning number 5. The Titans get on the board here in the bottom of the 5th with a run. They did it on a couple of base hits. There were no errors and 2 left. We've played 5 complete. It is Keystone 9, Lorain 2. You're listening to the Center for Orthopedics. Gridiron Clash. How about a Diamond Duel? It's on AM 930, FM 100.3. Jared, we're online.
At WEOL.com.
Get big savings at Nick Abraham Elyria Ford. Every remaining 2020 EcoSport in stock is $8.
I was so wishing I had that record scratch effect at my disposal when you were singing.
Ford also has the new Brock.
As you noticed, I cut off the music real quick.
Performance all-electric Mustang Mach-E. There's also an impressive $4 million used car inventory to choose from. So be sure to visit Nick Abraham Elyria Ford, Route 57 at East Broad Street, Elyria.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
I know you guys are worried. Don't worry. I won't sing over Simon & Garfunkel. That's a once-in-a-lifetime deal.
Never before and never again will we have that happen. Is that what you're telling us?
I'm hoping. Speaking of the phone line or me singing? Lorain, yeah, right. Lorain leads it by a score of 9-2 as we head to the top of the 6th inning. Oh, you got to love spring sports, Jared. We have missed this after a year. It is a lot of fun. It is not the easiest thing in the world to do for lots of reasons, but it's just great to be back out here, is it not?
It really feels, like, again, as if there's a little bit more normal in the world right now than there has been for the past 14 months. So I, for one, will take it.
Top of the 6th inning, we are going to see for the Keystone Wildcats, Houston, Archer, and Prunty as they lead it by a score of 9-2. Second inning in relief for the, third inning in relief for Nathan Glorioso on the mound for Lorain. He's done a nice job coming in for J.D. Van Sickle. And, again, we are going to see Houston, Archer, and Prunty here in the top of the 6th. Houston is 2 out of 3, couple of singles. Rocky, whose dad is the head girls basketball coach. And Rocky's dad, I just found out, is an assistant on the baseball staff. Got to see him before the game. Good to see Rocky Houston. Bert Fitzgerald, a longtime head coach. That one's bunted and diving for it, and what an effort. Unable to come up with it was Jose Rivera, but an unbelievable effort by Jose. His team's down 9-2 in the 6th inning of Game 2 of a doubleheader, and he's diving for a foul pop-up. He couldn't quite come up with it, but you have to salute the effort of that senior Jose Rivera. No balls and a strike. Into the line and Glorioso's pitch. High, ball 1. Let's set the Lorain defense if you're just joining us. Rocky Rivera plays first. It's Tyler Costco at second. Nathan Antis at short. Jacob Addis at third. Antis and Addis on the left side of the infield. That one's ripped in the right field, and that is going to fall just foul. Strike 2. Outfield, Jesse El Hidalgo in left. Carlos Gonzalez in center. Mason Davis patrolling right. Jose Rivera behind the plate. Nathan Glorioso. Third inning of relief from the starter, J.D. Van Sickle, is on the mound, and his team trails 9-2 here in the top of the 6th. Indians baseball, when we're done, they come up at the bottom of the hour. That one's going to be sent in the infield. Rivera, the first baseman, makes the put out about 2 steps off first base. So Houston is retired. He's now 2 for 4 on the pop-up to first for 1 out. That'll bring up Nathan Archer. Archer today 0 for 2 with a walk and a run scored. He scored the first run of the 4-run uprising in the 5th. Glorioso's pitch. That one's going to be bunted. Well done. And Glorioso off the mound can't come up with it. That's an infield hit on the bunt by Archer. And I'll tell you what, these Keystone Wildcat kids can bunt. They can bunt for hits. They can sacrifice bunt. They really play small ball very, very well.
Yeah, they are able to maneuver guys around these base paths and never really, again, out of anything in terms of an at-bat. And worst comes to worst, they're going to lay one down on you, and I think that we're seeing that this afternoon.
Prunty comes up now. Nathan Prunty, the catcher. Throw to first. What a stab over there by Rocky Rivera. Came out with the wild throw from Glorioso, saved an error from his pitcher. Is that one short hopped him and he came up with it. That was not an easy play. Archer off first. Prunty at the plate. Both guys named Nathan, batting back-to-back for Keystone. Throw to second, not in time. Prunty with a stolen base. Or I should say Archer with a stolen base. Archer with a stolen base, Prunty at the plate. This afternoon's Diamond Duel brought to you by the Center for Orthopedics. From student athletes to the dedicated grandparents who never miss a game, the Center for Orthopedics is your #1 choice for bone and joint care. Give them a call, 440-329-2800. And Prunty will send that one sky high in foul territory. Rivera behind home plate makes the catch, the senior catcher in foul territory. Catches the pop out, and that's 2 outs. Now Jack Civic comes up. Civic has had an outstanding day. He is 2 for 3, 3 runs scored for the sophomore third baseman. Rips that one in left center field, and he's 3 for 4. Around third is Archer. He'll come in to score, and the Wildcats lead 10-2 in the top of the 6th. And the big day continues for Jack Civic. He has been on base every single at-bat, his 4th time. The previous 3 times he has scored. That'll bring up Avery Blankenship, who's up with the Wildcats up 10-2 here in the top of the 6th. Pitch is low and inside, 1-0. Again, when we're done, the EcoTree Services postgame show, and then Indians baseball. The Indians and the Reds, they try to even up the series down at the Queen City this weekend. Game 3 is tomorrow afternoon. We'll have it for you at 12:35. Later on tonight, Tim Alcorn, Jim Jones, the Cavs in Chicago, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock start. That one's going to be sent over the second baseman's head into right field for a base hit. Coming up with it is Mason Davis. He'll throw it in, and the Wildcats have 2 on. Blankenship with a single. And that's a big game for the Cavs tonight, Jared, because Chicago was right in front of them as the Cavs try to get into possible position for one of those playoff scenarios, the play-in playoff scenario that's new this year. And I believe Chicago is the team that's right in front of them, and that's a head-to-head game tonight.
They are, and after a rough weekend where I think last week where people thought the Cavs might pick up some ground, they didn't. They win that game against Charlotte earlier this week that people thought maybe they wouldn't. And maybe you are cooking with something if you can go into Chicago and get a win tonight, are the young Cavaliers. We'll have to wait and see. 2 on, 1 out.
That one's sent to left center field. Well hit by Nepper. He gets his first plate appearance, and it is going to be dropped out in left field. 1 run in. Around third is Blankenship. He'll try to score the throw home. He is in there in time. And a Keystone with the 12-2 advantage now. And that should be the ball game. Right?
With 2 innings to play, yes.
Or would they let Lorain get a chance to bat in the bottom of the 6th?
They're bringing it in here. Turnus is coming out to have a conversation.
Well, if the game was over,
right,
they would have just walked off the field. I don't know if it is or not, but we're going to have a pitching change evidently on that error. 2-run score, and we'll double-check maybe our math. Maybe it's 11-2. What do I know? I know we're in the top of the 6th inning. We've had a lot of runs. We'll take a timeout. On the WEOL Diamond Duel on AM, on FM, and online, Jared.
At WEOL.com.
Monday through Saturday, Smitty's in Elyria is open for lunch and dinner. Dine in or carry out, starting at 11 each
Archer
day.
scored
And when
right
the weather's
earlier.
nice, enjoy Smitty's patio.
Runs there.
A family tradition since 1932. Visit Smitty's across from the Elyria Post Office.
Go ahead and play another one.
I expected it to be a lot easier.
I didn't know what step to take next.
I was transitioning from the military. I was a vehicle gunner.
An avionics specialist.
I missed my unit, my family.
Playing with my daughter, I felt like a stranger.
I didn't have a clear sense of what to do next.
And then I thought, if I'm going through
Kincaid
this,
is the
other veterans have
pitcher.
gone through it too, right?
So I reached out, and I saw that I wasn't alone.
Go to MakeTheConnection.net to learn how other veterans have overcome the challenges of transitioning out of the military.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
So 2 runs scored on that error in left field, 3 in the inning. Keystone leads at 12-2. We're in the top of the 6th, so evidently Lorain will get to bat in the bottom of the 6th. I thought once you got to 10 runs after 5 innings, the game was over, but again, my first game in 2 years, so who knows. But Rocky Rivera is the new pitcher in relief for the Lorain Titans. And let's see if we can find Rocky here on my stat sheet. Rocky has pitched 3 1/3 innings. This will be his 3rd appearance. He does have 1 start on the season, and he has a record of 0-1. He's given up 12 hits, 9 runs, 8 are earned.
He's played a good game at first base over there this afternoon, too.
He has.
So, that's one of the things when you have to switch that dynamic up, or you're going to have that chemistry right away on that exchange. So we'll have to take a look at that. While we do that, let's take a look at some scores. We're headed to the bottom of the 7th over at Avon. Avon Lake now with a 3-1 lead in varsity baseball. And it is Elyria leading Norway in softball at the end of 6, 5-4. And Amherst on top of Mansfield-Madison by a score of 6-2.
Satterley with a line drive gets past Addis at third. Kincaid, the pinch runner, is going to come around third. He'll score, and Keystone leads 13-2. So Satterley with the RBI single. Kincaid, the courtesy runner, scores 4 runs in the inning. It's 13-2. And coming up, we have a pinch hitter for Dylan Belknap. And the pinch hitter is going to be Caleb Davies. And Davies has been playing in left field today, but he was DH for by Belknap, but now they're going to let Davies have it at bat. So Davies, who's been the left fielder, will get his first plate appearance of the game. This will be his fourth plate appearance of the year. And he has 1 hit, 1 RBI in those 3 plate appearances. So Satterley at first, 2 outs. Keystone has scored 11 runs in the last 3 innings to lead 13-2 here in the top of the 6th. So Lorain will at least need 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th for us to play a 7-inning game.
Speaking of Keystone on the softball diamond, they are up 2-1 over Canfield, or 2-0 over Canfield, the end of the first inning. And that is part of the Wendy's Classic. Sean Bennett giving us those scoring updates. We want to thank him from the Chronicle Telegram.
And we should let everybody know we've got Priebus coverage next weekend. A ball and a strike. Rocco Nucci did a great job of telling our listeners in Game 1 about that when we had Midview and Elyria earlier today in baseball. But our coverage will continue next weekend. We'll have softball Friday and Saturday from the Priebus tournament. Friday at 4:30, it'll be Midview and Wellington. Saturday, a couple of games from Keystone. And Tim Alcorn would do those. Keystone plays Warren Champion at 10 a.m. next Saturday. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Amherst and Olentangy Liberty at 2 o'clock from LaGrange next Saturday afternoon. Tim has both of those. I have Midview Wellington Friday afternoon at 4:30. And then Rocco Nucci will go to Wellington for the third of our triple header next Saturday. It'll be Margaretta and EC from Wellington. So 4 games in 2 days from 2 locations from the Priebus next weekend for us. That one will be sent into right field, and it's going to be a dropped an error in right field. And making that error is Mason Davis. And heading over to third base is going to be Satterley. So the wheels have come off the wagon here a little bit for the Titans defensively.
It's a lot of logistics next week when you think about that, split sites on the same day, just like today.
What were we thinking?
Yeah, just the proverbial bit off more than we could chew, but I think we're going to be okay.
I think we'll be fine.
They're going to be just fine.
Another pinch hitter for the Wildcats. As I look at my roster, this is Drew Reed getting his first plate appearance. So Drew Reed, a right-hand batter, comes in. Drew, where are you? Oh, boy. Drew is a senior. One of the things I talked to Coach Fitzgerald about, I said, Coach, we need a numerical roster if we ever see you again. Half joking with him. That one's going to be sent to third. Antis can't come up with it. And that is going to be a throw to first, not in time. Run scores. It's another error. And that is unofficially, because I am not a scorekeeper, but unofficially, that's their third of the inning. 5th of the day, and they're all in the last 3 innings. Coming in to score was Satterley. That's the 5th run of the inning. It's 14-2 Keystone. And another pinch hitter. This in for Rocky Houston. Jesse Langford is the pinch hitter. So Coach Fitzgerald going to his bench. Game 2 of a doubleheader, non-conference. Why not? He's up 14-2. 2 out at the top of the 6th, 2 on, 2 out. Lorain needs at least 3 in the bottom of the 6th to keep this game going. Aki Rivera comes set, the pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Langford has 1 plate appearance, has an RBI. That one's high, ball 2. But he is 0 for 1 with an RBI on the year. So just his second plate appearance of 2021. Right-hand batter. Rivera's pitch. Swung on, that's fisted foul up on the roof here at the Pipe Yard. Pipe Yard, really nice facility, been around since 2007. Titans have called it home. think the Lake Erie Warhawks are going to play some baseball here this summer, Jared. The travel team.
Yeah, that's one of the bigger, more successful travel teams in the area. They do a good job of bringing in some top competition in 6 fields here. Why not?
That one's sent down the first base line into foul territory out in the right field, and Glorioso, who came over to first base after pitching, tried to run it down but could not. Everybody will go back. It's a foul ball.
You know, you look at the maintenance staff out there, they've been going nonstop since we've been here today. So, you know, they're doing a good job of getting these fields up to par here for, you know, people to enjoy throughout the baseball season to come.
Davies at second, Reed at first. 2 on, 2 out for the Wildcats in the top of the 6th. 5 runs in. They lead 14-2. That's low, ball 1. Jesse Langford, his first plate appearance, right-hand batter. He's a sophomore. Rivera's pitch. Swung on, ripped on the left field line, but that's a foul ball. Langford in front of that one. He liked it. He ripped it, but he sent it foul. Scheduled to bat for the Titans in the bottom of the 6th. The bottom 3 of their order, Rocky Rivera, Mason Davis, J.D. Van Sickle. If the score holds, they need at least 3 in the bottom of the 6th to give us a 7th inning. The pitch. That one's sent up the middle into center field for a base hit. Reed around third. They're going to send him in to score. Here's the throw home in time, or not in time, I should say, as he scores. And moving up to second base then is Langford on the throw home. So Davies scores. Hitting third is Reed. An RBI single for Langford. And now Jacob Kincaid, who was a pinch hitter, or a pinch runner, I should say, earlier, is going to get a plate appearance. And it's all Keystone here. They've scored 13 runs in the last 3 innings, and they lead at 15-2. If you're just joining us, hope you enjoyed Game 1 of our doubleheader. In Game 1, it was Elyria besting Midview 8-5. Eddie Piazza's team gets their 2nd win of the young season. Rocco Nucci, Jared Kozar had that one. Jared with a long day. Appreciate all his efforts today as we had our season lid lifter for our broadcast schedule on WEOL for 2021 with a baseball doubleheader. That's outside ball 1. And sometimes what happens in non-conference baseball games, Jared, especially in Game 2, they can get a little lopsided. And after a good score, it was 2-1 after 3, but it's been all Keystone the last 3 innings. That one's inside, 2-1. As you see sometimes some pitchers that haven't had a lot of work get some innings. They need to get the experience. You're trying to save your better pitchers for league play if you're both these teams. That one's going to be sent down the left field line, foul. So Kincaid will come back to the plate. Langford at second. Reed at third. 15-2, Wildcats, top of the 6th. Rob Polinsky, Jared Kozar, back at studio control, Dave Rydell. This afternoon's Diamond Duel brought to you by the Center for Orthopedics, your personal connection to advanced care. Ball 1 outside. Call 440-329-2800 for an appointment at one of their 5 convenient locations. The pitch. Strike called to Kincaid. Doug Long is our plate umpire. Out on the bases today, we have Todd Strebel. Rivera peers in for the sign. He'll come set. The pitch. That's outside ball 4. Bases are loaded.
You know, it's another thing, Rob, when you talk about that non-conference games. You know, Rocky Rivera's played a heck of a first base throughout most of this contest, and now he's going to go in and pitch in relief. That can be tough, too. You know, sometimes if you're coming in off the bench, it's a little bit different than if you've been spent for the better part of Game 2 and also Game 1 where he contributed as well.
Bases are loaded, 2 outs. The battery right now for Lorain is Rivera. Rocky Rivera on the mound, Jose Rivera behind the plate. And calling time is Prunty. Now he steps back in. Bases loaded, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Out in front, 15-2 to try to add to it. Swung on, lift to left center field. That one might find the gap. It does. It's going to be a base hit. 2 runs will score. Wildcats lead 17-2. Kincaid stops at second. So Reed scores from third. Langford scores and brings up Jack Civic, who's been safe every time, and he scored 4 runs today, including 1 earlier this inning. Sends that one into foul territory. Addis looking over up against the fence in foul territory, tried to come up with it, couldn't quite do so. Nice effort by Jacob Addis, but he couldn't come up with that one. It's a strike. Runners go back to first and second. The Wildcats have scored 8 in this inning, and they lead at 17-2. We're in the top of the 6th. Rivera's pitch. Swung on, lifted into a shallow right center, or right field, I should say, down the line, and it is just foul. So Civic sends one fouled on the third base line. Now he sends one fouled on the first base line. Game 1, Lorain won it by a score of 7-3. That was a really good game. It was close. It was 3-3 in the 6th. Lorain scored 4 late to win it. This game was very close. It was 2-1 after 3 innings, and then Keystone has just exploded offensively. That one sent foul off of Rivera, and it'll stay 2 strikes. But 15 runs in the last 3 innings for Keystone has broken open a 2-1 game and made it 17-2. And this might be the longest half inning of baseball that I've seen in my life. The pitch, high and wide. Wildcats are going to improve to 8-7 on the year. With this Game 2 loss, Lorain's going to drop to 4-6 on the campaign. That one is lifted foul and out of play. Game 1 of our broadcast schedule was earlier today. Again, Rocco Nucci had it. Hope you liked it. Elyria defeated Midview 8-5. We've got a dozen baseball and softball games in the regular season this year on WEOL starting today. Civic sends that one into left field. Coming over is Hidalgo. He'll make the catch for the putout, and that'll do it for the Wildcats in the 6th. They score 8 runs, and after 5.5 innings, it is the Keystone Wildcats 17, Lorain 2, back with the bottom of the 6th after this timeout on the Center for Orthopedics WEOL Diamond Duel on AM 930, FM 100.3. Jared, we're online.
At WEOL.com.
Speaking for the Center for Orthopedics, here's
How
Dr.
many more spots we got?
Lots. This is the last one.
All right,
which
great.
the upper arm bone
Let's play this.
out.
We're fine.
Okay, do you want me to drop a PSA after it?
From
Sure.
traumatic injuries such as a fall, sports injuries that involve forceful throwing or hitting and twisting. Treatment includes reduction of the
time's the
shoulder,
Indians pregame?
sometimes
Is it
requiring
3:35?
anesthesia or sedation.
Yeah, we go right to it.
3:35.
Okay.
A mobilization
We're gonna have a short
and a rehab
post.
program. Frequently, if the shoulder redislocates, surgery may be required.
For an appointment, call the Center for Orthopedics at 440-329-2800.
I'm Ohio Governor Mike DeWine. This is no ordinary time in Ohio, in the country, in the world. Closures, social distancing, changing behaviors, it's all very difficult and very necessary. Small acts will make a difference. Thank you for what you are doing each and every day. Ohio, we're in this together.
Furnished by Governor Mike DeWine and the OAB.
The Center for Orthopedics Diamond Duel on WEOL.
Bottom of the 6th. Lorain needs a big inning to keep this one going. They trail 17-2. On the mound will be, in his second inning of relief, Gage Nepper, who is in relief of the freshman pitcher Brock Miller, who is going to get the win today. Want to remind you, later on today, Indians baseball, the Indians and the Reds, pregame as soon as we're done. First pitch at 4:10. Later tonight, the Cavs in Chicago will have it for you. Tim Alcorn, Jim Jones, 7:30 pregame, 8 o'clock tip. And then tomorrow afternoon, Game 3 of the Indians-Reds series. That pregame at 12:35. They'll get underway tomorrow at 1:10. Next weekend on WEOL, we've got the Prebus softball tournament. 4 games, 2 days, 2 sites. I don't think we've ever done a Friday Prebus game, in my knowledge. Maybe
I think one time.
Did we?
Yeah, I think we went once on a Friday.
That's why he's the best color man in the business, to be able to help me out and point out all my mistakes. It is Midview and Wellington over at Wellington Friday at 4:30. I'll have that one for you. And then game day 2, we have a triple header. And this is from 2 different places. This is going to be really cool next Saturday. Tim Alcorn has the 10 o'clock and 2 p.m. games. Keystone and Warren Champion next Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Amherst and Olentangy Liberty Saturday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Those are from LaGrange. At 4:30, Rocco Nucci will have Margaretta and EC. That game will be at Wellington. I'll tell you what, EC, they've been scoring some runs. Have you seen some of those softball scores this year?
Pretty gaudy numbers.
Yeah, so we've got you covered next weekend as we focus on the Prebus tournament. And what a great annual tournament that is. Jared, that is a who's who of teams across the state of Ohio.
Pretty big deal. And when we talk about pretty big deals right now, we've got some scoring updates. Avon Lake defeats Avon 3-1 in boys in varsity baseball. Westlake a winner over Bay in softball earlier, 13-3. In Elyria just moments ago, victorious over Norwayne, 5-4 at the Wendy's Classic. Amherst closing in on a victory over Mansfield Madison over there, and if they win that pool. So that would be good for the Lady Comets.
Rivera will send it to short. Blankenship comes up with it to throw to first in time for the out. So Rocky Rivera grounds out to short to begin the home half of the 6th, 1 out. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that's Megan Bashak's first win this year for the Elyria Pioneers. Congratulations to Megan. And it's been a tough start to the season for them, but they defeat Norwayne today at that Wendy's Classic. Good for her. Good for the Lady Pioneers. Congratulations. And part of my pregame prep, I told you I ran into Matt St. Marie last night. He was prepping for his umpiring today. I was getting ready for this game, and in doing so, we also ran into Ken Fennick. Swinging him as strike 1. And Ken Fennick, the longtime Elyria softball coach, was chatting with him, and I know he's thrilled for Megan that she got a win today.
He was not critical of the preparation procedures you guys were going through, huh?
No. Called strike 3, 2 outs. That'll bring up J.D. Van Sickle.
That is a final now. Amherst has defeated Mansfield in softball 7-3, a final, and they are the 2021 Wendy Spring Classic Pool A champions.
So J.D. Van Sickle's the last hope here for Lorain. 2 out, nobody on. Bottom of the 6th, they trail 17-2. Nepper into the wind. The pitch swung on, that sent foul and out of play.
They're getting closer, Rob, each
they
time.
Are, but we've got the roof, so, you know. Here at the Pipe Yard, you never have to worry. In this nice press box here, the pitch. That bounces away from Prunty. Nepper in relief here, trying to close it out. J.D. Van Sickle at the plate, 0 for 2 today. He's popped out to the third baseman Civic twice. There's called strike 3, and this game is over. Nepper gets a 1-2-3. The Titans go no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. And our final score today in 6 innings of Game 2 of the doubleheader, it was Keystone 17, Lorain 2.